Hey, this is Dave, and thanks for tuning in to Old Dad's Studio. Today is February 9th, 2025. This is vlog number 40 in the series. Today I've actually got two topics. One is we're going to get into some of the updates from the February All-In, the goals that I've been trying to reach, and so I'll give you an update on that, let you know where we are with that. But first, we're going to cover a little bit of AI information. So one of the YouTubers and TikTokers that I follow is Nate, and I think I've mentioned him here before, and I'll put his information and some links down below. But he had a challenge, or not a challenge, I guess. He just asked his viewers if they would do a couple of things. And I'm going to show his TikTok now so you can see exactly what he's asking us to do.
I figured out how to get ChatGPT to tell me what it knows about me. So I'm going to ask it, one, can you make me a mind map of all our past conversations? It will actually draw that for you. It will draw a circle, it will have categories, it will have subcategories, it will be very detailed. And then two, what time period does that cover? First post to last post, or first message to last message. What I found was the personal edition of ChatGPT seems to have a memory of 6 months, and the Teams edition seems to have a memory of 3 months right now. If you try it and you get a different number, let me know, because it is not at all clear. It's not exactly 6 months, so I'm not sure kind of what it's reading or why. I've certainly chatted with ChatGPT longer than 6 months, so there's some kind of cutoff, and I'm really curious to see what's going on, because it seems like ChatGPT improved their memory dramatically and just didn't tell anybody about it.
Now I did both of those steps. The very first thing was creating the mind map, and actually it took me 2 times to get the mind map, because the first time ChatGPT kind of jumbled things together and I had overlapping categories, so I asked it to make it neater, and so this is the revised neat version of my mind map here. And then I asked it, what's the oldest date? What's the oldest conversation that we had? And it said November 7th of 2024. So for me, that's November, December, January, and it is now February, so, but it's the beginning of February, so for me it's really 4 months is really the time frame that it was able to pull data from. But this led me down a little bit of a path at looking at some of the data that I have in ChatGPT, and I learned a couple of new things today. First of all, I didn't know I could do a mind map, so that's one thing that was kind of fun and cool, so thanks Nate for that. The second thing is I didn't realize that the application that's running on my computer, now I have a Mac, so I'm using the Mac version of ChatGPT's application that runs locally on my PC to communicate out to ChatGPT. It trims off your conversations after a certain time. Now I don't know if it's doing it by size, if it's doing it by a certain date, what exactly that cutoff is, but when I scroll to the bottom of my conversations, the oldest ones are gone. And so I asked ChatGPT about it, and it explained that those old conversations get trimmed off after a while, and they are not recoverable unless I have archived them. And so I did try to archive one today and found out that I can archive my conversations in the application, so I can do that if I want to keep some of those going forward. But I don't know the parameters of when they actually get trimmed. So unless I archive them, all of them, once in a while and just continue doing that forward. But do I need to? Maybe I do. I don't know if I need to or not. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, the other thing that I learned about ChatGPT today was that none of those conversations have dates on them. And I guess I didn't, it's obvious that they don't have dates on them if you actually just look at them, but I never stopped to think, it never registered with me before, that they didn't actually have dates on them. So when I was scrolling through my conversations, I can't tell what day I had that particular conversation on. And so I'm wondering if I need to start adding dates into my conversations with ChatGPT for ones that I want to know what dates they actually happened on. So I could start it with, on this day, da 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 da, and then go into my command prompt for ChatGPT. Maybe that's a solution for it. I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with that. But again, I'm going to have to ask the question, do I really need to know what day something happened on with ChatGPT or not? And then which ones or which conversations would I be interested in archiving so they don't get trimmed away? The biggest one that I think I wish I had saved, which is, looking at my list I can tell is gone, is the conversation where I had ChatGPT give itself a name, and it named itself Quinn. And so that's one conversation I wish I had kept, and archived, and it is now gone. All right, the other thing that we are going to cover today is update on the February All-In. The February All-In. And where I'm at. Spoiler alert, I did not hit my goal every single day this past week. This is the first week of the February All-In, and let's go over it. Actually, let me give you one quick update before we dive into the actual tracking sheet itself. This past week, I have lost 3 pounds, which losing 3 pounds is great, and I know that when you hear scientific studies talking about rapid weight loss versus small weight loss sustained over time, it's healthier and better to have small weight loss sustained over time. But 3 pounds is really discouraging for somebody as big as me. You know, I can gain 5 or 10 pounds over a weekend if I'm like eating junk food and going crazy, and so just to lose 3 pounds is a little bit frustrating, but it is 3 pounds in the right direction, and so I will continue on the path, and we will see what happens the rest of the month. I'm not giving up yet. We've got 3 more weeks to go of this particular February All-In, and we will see what happens from there. All right, let's get into the actual tracking sheet. Now, if you didn't watch the previous video where I created this tracking sheet, I'll put a link up here in the corner, right up in there somewhere, to the previous video where I showed this, but I'll give a quick explanation of the sheet as we go through it as well. So we started the tracking on February 1st, and this is through this past Friday, the 7th. Today is the 9th, so we're into the second week already. And since the month started on a Saturday, I started my weekday on Saturday to Friday, so it matched how the month fell for the month of February. Now, the first section of this is really my fitness goals, and the fitness goal, or at least one of them, was to break up my day doing 10 squats, 10 sets of 10 squats, and I'm just doing body weight squats throughout the whole week, and I try to do them at the top of the hour. Now, Saturday and Sunday, these gray columns here, these are my free days. I will do them if I want, or if I don't. When I started back on the 1st, I only did 1 set of squats. The Sunday the 2nd, I did 3 sets of squats, and then through the rest of the week, you can kind of see how it worked out. Everything with a green check box, I was able to do. The ones here with the red lines through them are ones that I did not do. Now, one note about this Friday, the reason I didn't do all of these squats is I ended up taking this Friday off of work, and this pattern that I have going here really lends itself nice to when I'm working. And so I can do the 10 squats at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. Or if I happen to have a meeting where it doesn't work, I can combine 2 together, do 20 squats at 8 a.m. and then do another 20 squats at 10 a.m. and combine these together. So I've found patterns that really work well for me throughout the week. Now, these red down here that I didn't do it, this was that day I took off. This was the day that I was working out on the garage on my snowblower, and if you are unfamiliar with that particular story, I will put a link over here to the snowblower saga that happened that Friday and what happened there, so I'll put a link to that. But that day, I wasn't actually in my office, and I wasn't having a structured day where I could do 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., the day was consumed by me working on the snowblower. Now, I did do some squats that day, but I didn't do 100, so I only did 30 squats on Friday. So that day I was off on my goal. The rest of these, I did 100 here, I did 100 here, and I did 30 there. All right, the second goal is really around tracking how we are doing. Oh, let me get that in there. We go. Is tracking on our diet. And so what I have decided to do for the month of February is I'm going to fast morning and lunch. So I won't eat breakfast, I won't eat lunch. Those 2 meals I'm going to fast, and then I'm going to try to have a healthy dinner. And so I'm doing what's called intermittent fasting or timed eating. And so I have only a certain amount of time in the day that I actually allow myself to eat. The rest of the time I'm going to be fasting. And so for starting out this first week, on Saturday I did not fast that day, so I missed that goal. On Sunday I did, and then you can see the rest of the week I did until Friday morning. Now, Friday morning, the reason I didn't, and probably I'm going to break this every Friday morning, is because on Friday mornings, my wife and I go out for coffee and usually a scone or something at our local coffee shop. And we do that because we want to break up our day a little bit, get out of the house, and we go and we review our bills and our finances each week, and that's the time that we do that together. And we do it away from the house, so there's no distractions. Enjoy a cup of coffee, enjoy our company together, and review that. And so every Friday, I'm probably going to miss this because I usually have a scone or something along with my coffee that morning. Now for lunch, again, over the weekend, I did not fast either day on the weekends, but throughout the rest of the week I did. I didn't eat lunch at all this entire week. And then for healthy dinners, I was able to eat a healthy dinner all week long as well. And so that worked out to be fabulous. The last budget item, or the last item that we have for our goal tracking for the February All-In, is our budget. And the one category that we are really targeting this month is eating out. And so you can see here that for the most part we made it, and then Thursday and Friday, both of these nights, or both of these days, we missed it. Now, Thursday, the reason we missed it on Thursday was because one of our daughter's birthday was Thursday the 6th, and so we took her out for dinner. So that night we didn't go out to eat. We did have a healthy dinner that night, but it was still a dinner that was out and that we paid for it, and so that was part of our eating out budget, and so that one we didn't make. And then for Friday night, again, that morning we were having scones and we were out at the coffee shop, and so we did eat out again, so that negated that day also. Overall, we have a reduced budget for eating out. What we decided to do is, because we knew we had some nights this month where we are going to be eating out, what we ended up doing was making this budget a lot smaller rather than making it completely zero. Now, where we are right now after the first week, is we have consumed 60% of that budget already. So we're not on track to hit our revised budget if we've already consumed 60% after just the first week. All right, now that's a wrap up for where we are for the February All-In. I will give another update in a week from now, so let you know how we're doing in week number 2 and overall throughout the month. But I think that's also going to be a wrap up for today's vlog. Number 40 in the series, another one that we hit on a daily basis. Keep my fingers crossed that I can keep this going. All right, everybody have a wonderful time. I love you all. Thank you very much for watching, participating, commenting, liking, sharing, viewing, all the things. Thank you very much. I am thoroughly enjoying this and having a good time with it, and I hope you are as well. And I guess that means I will see you tomorrow.